Guys, what is up? Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Alright, live stream I should say. Today, oh boy, has it been an interesting day. Not necessarily because of the price, because we've been playing ping pong, but more so in terms of everything surrounding it. I've been checking out the crypto news, and oh boy, do we have some stuff to talk about today. But first, guys, let's put some good mornings in the chat box. Let's get it going. I mean, it's almost 4 p.m. for me, but still, I think for a lot of you guys, it might be evening, might be morning. I don't really know. But let's start the streams nowadays with like a little good morning and a little like being pressed. We already got 20 likes at the start of the stream. That is amazing. You guys are all amazing. And once more for the last day, guys, Merry freaking Christmas. All right, Merry Christmas. Hopefully, you guys have done something fun for yourselves. Really hope so. Hopefully you got yourself some good, I should say some other people, some good presents, some fun stuff. And even more important, hopefully you spread the word of crypto, all right? Of the word crypto. Little fun story, guys. I was actually talking to some people about crypto that are not really having a liking towards it. And I was called a little bit of a lunatic because of my rant. Even put it over on Twitter earlier. It was interesting situation. Let's put it like that. I got really laughed at today, guys. If only they knew, huh? If only they freaking knew the power of cryptocurrencies. No, I seriously got laughed at this afternoon yesterday for me having a different opinion, I guess, about the matter. Very often when I see this, guys, there's like these, quote unquote, older people. And I know the audience here that we have is like generally 30 plus. But I digress. Mostly people I talk to, maybe in the 50s or so, a lot of them are really hesitant to really accept anything that's not having to do with putting your money into real estate. Really. It's such a tough conversation. And I've noticed that throughout the last couple of months even, that whenever I try to talk people into it, which of course I'm doing for their betterment, not my own because I don't have anything to gain from it, usually the older they are, the more hesitant they get, but I don't really talk to a 70-year-old demographic too much about investing, as usually there's not really too much common ground. It's usually like the 50 to 60 range. But really, yesterday, I really got put in my place for me not knowing what the frick I'm talking about. And obviously, you're not going to pull out the card of, well, but I got way more money than you, or I'm way more successful than you. You're not going to do that type of stuff. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I think I know what I'm talking about, but you do you. However, it put me into perspective that the world ain't completely ready for crypto yet. I mean, in a lot of sectors, yeah, look at you guys all in the chat box here. Look at freaking the guys. We have 250 people watching right now, which shows there's definitely a good amount of people who know, specifically in my opinion for XRP, but not everybody. All right, we got the crypto guy coming at the €2 saying, good morning, Dusty. Good morning, you. Thank you, very much appreciated. And we got Tsunami with €5 coming in saying, what are the chances that the SEC wins the lawsuit due to corruption? U.S. government is powerful. Last part, definitely true. Due to corruption, I would never state that, as I don't think that any of these parties will win through corruption or anything of the sort. However, what you can talk about in that sense is, can they win due to the system not being correctly set up? It's not corruption, it's just not set in our favor. Because as I've stated before a couple of times over on Twitter, anybody who believes that the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit right now is like proper, it's like they're doing the right thing for the people. If you're not of the opinion that the SEC is stacked against you right now, I don't think we're on the same page. But that does not mean that they, by definition, will win or by definition will lose. Because at the end of the day, it's a legal battle. The judge should be unbiased. However, then again, the SEC should protect investors. So I get where you're coming from in the sense that, could they not just let the SEC win because it's a government entity and they want them to win, so they're gonna? The only thing I have to say about that one is there's always a chance. But if the SEC would win, I think what would most likely happen is that in terms of official on record, and I'm like making some bunny ears with my fingers here, they will win because the Ripple has to pay a huge fine. We're talking 100, maybe $150 million. In the SEC's record books, that is a major win. However, for the rest of the world and the people that care, XRP from that point forward is not a security anymore, because what they're basically going to put it on then, that's my own expectation, right? If, in this hypothetical scenario, they do end up losing, it is going to be a loss on paper, with XRP being in violation from 2013, for example, to 2000 and who knows, 16, 17. Where from 2017 to 20, this latter part, Ripple was doing fine because XRP was properly decentralized now. And so it's not a security anymore. And so at the end of the day, from right now forward, XRP is fine. But in the past, they kind of violated something. And so, that's basically the conclusion that I kind of draw. I think that definitely makes a lot of sense. What do you guys think about that? I think that makes a lot of sense. We got 300 people watching, 113 likes. You guys are crazy in that. Holy smokes. Look at everybody here in the chat box. All right, you got Susie coming in here. Let's quickly check this out. Susie coming in with the $20. That is insane. Let's quickly take a look at this. What do you think XRP will correct to after we see the $10 area? Do you feel XRP could see that 60 to even 70% correction? And this is actually a question that I see quite often in my comment section. And I think a lot of you guys are wondering about that. So let's quickly address Susie's question, all right? Guys, as I've said before, the title of this video is most likely almost always going to be XRP to $24. I'm going to be doing daily live streams, which is why I'm telling everybody to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, because we'll be live streaming almost every single day if there's not something too important as to why I cannot do a live stream. I'm going to always try to do them around 3 p.m. Dutch time or at about 6 p.m. That's going to be annoying, 6 p.m. Dubai time. I'm going to have to watch out for that, but I'll do every single day a live stream if it makes sense, if possible. And it's going to basically be us, right, you and I, on a journey where XP is hopefully going to $24 within 1.5 years or so. But my honest expectation is about $15 throughout the next cycle, or basically even this cycle still. This person, let's quickly see again exactly what was questioned. Let's quickly see it here. Susie Kusia, all right, Kukia, but I think Kusia, asked, if we go to $10, where will it go to afterwards? Honest. My expectation is that if we go towards the $10 range, let's actually put all of this off real quick. If we go towards the $10 range, there's most likely no coming down for a little bit, as we should hypothesize here for what the different scenarios could be for XRP to get into that sector all the way over there. Now, if you compare it to, for example, a thing like Bitcoin, I think it's quite easy to see that whatever we had back there, you couldn't really expect it to get to this area. However, let's just literally compare it to Bitcoin, right? We had a 230% increase from the all-time high, okay? Then we had about 50 to 60% drop before a couple months later having another 140% rise. If XRP follows that same similar sort of pattern, we'd basically see from XRP, right, about 250. So we see from here, about 250% up. That's about right there to about $12 or so, which is our own target for XRP. This is our target, so $12. From there, about a 50% drop, putting it back at obviously about $6 or so. Right there, 5. And then another 140% gain, putting it at about, let's see here, about $13.50 or something like that, right? Along those lines. That's like the worst case scenario that I can think of, because the moment it's going to rise, it'll most likely be because of a lawsuit win. And I think that's going to look like this. Big green candle, a little bit of a red candle like straight after, bigger green candle like that. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to end up. I hope it's going to be above the $7 mark. Honestly, I think we're going to find some resistance here at about $12 something, as that really is a point where the XP price coincides with so many different indicators. I think $12.50 is going to be the most crucial point for XP in 2022. So if you're asking me, can it come back down? Yes, but I don't think we'll ever see the likes of below the 2017-18 all-time high again. I don't think we're going to go ever below $3, $4 and again. And that's already saying something though, right? That the levels we're seeing right now are going to quadruple within this time period and never go below that again. My thoughts? All right, let's see. Let's quickly see something else in the chat box, guys. I want to know from you guys, where are you all watching from right now? It's right now about 4 p.m. for me, Belgian time. Of course, we're traveling the world a little bit right now in the freaking cold, man. I have to maybe put on a jacket while recording this. But dude says, yeah, there's actually quite a lot of questions here that I think can easily be answered, but I've covered them so many times. I've covered them so ridiculously many times. The majority of what you guys ask anyway about the lawsuit and stuff, we've talked about 1,000 times by now. Let me tell you guys this. This lawsuit is not a normal thing. I mean, have you guys even checked out the digital asset investor? And I'm going to talk about this in a video later today. Whistleblower alert. The SEC allowed this man to issue Ethereum 1.0, a security. They're now letting him issue a second security in Ethereum 2.0, all while the rest of the crypto industry begs for crypto regulation or regulatory clarity. Gary Gensler, Hester Pierce, Herrenly, where are you? Because at the end of the day, every single time we watch a Joe Lubin presentation, what he's talking about is literal, at least to some degree, a foundation heading over governing over a sort of cryptocurrency, in this case Ether here, where to the majority of us, we'd be like, yeah, if we compare it to Ripple's XRP, it's basically worse than it, right? If we look back to 2015 and whatnot and the start of Ethereum, it's in many forms way worse than XRP, yet they're fine. Then again, the SEC has now let go that they're not really fine because Ethereum might or might not be a security because they have not made a determination. Yet at the end of the day, the only crypto I see being sued right now is Ripple. I see Ethereum as being quite fine. I mean, I don't really see any lawsuits against them right now. By the way, for Bitcoin, we're facing quite a significant battle here at the $50,000 mark, which is quite significant as well. By the way, guys, my own target for next year, at least $12. I'm hoping $12.50. But, you know, the honest truth is, I've told you guys a couple of times before, I'm looking for that $24 mark, okay? I'm looking for XRP at double the new all-time high of 2022. And our honest expectation is that we're going to basically follow this line for XRP, have a couple of bounces, but generally speaking, have the upwards direction ever since we made our bases after the lawsuit has been hit. From that point forward, by the way, guys, since the Ripple lawsuit ensued and since it started, we've only been in an uptrend. Piece by piece, we're climbing up and conquering more levels, finding our new bases. But honestly, we're seeing here our first low, right? Let's actually color this purple. No, it's not really seeable. It's colored. It's like the most bright white. We can see a first low. Our high, we can definitely actually see it as a complete high, but I would say because of the market euphoria, we're not going to count these tops, we're going to count the bottoms. We can see a potential second low here, but we're going to call this our second big low. Here right now, over the last couple of weeks, our third big low, and what I'm assuming, and I'm basically speculating on, is that we're going to basically bounce back upwards, hopefully, and all right, that's what we hope, take out this top right here for XRP at about $1.20 or so, and basically build a new top a little bit higher, hopefully around the $1.50 mark, above this support here at about resistance at about 140. But I'm hoping somewhere between these two levels that we're going to find a top before bouncing right back, most likely towards this little demand zone for XRP at about 120 again, before then breaking further, going towards $1.80. And so basically bounce ourselves up time by time. It's not certain that's going to happen because we don't know what Bitcoin's going to look like, as we need to close, or at least we want to close, above $53,000 this year for Bitcoin. But more importantly, that we basically end the year on a positive note with Bitcoin ending above 50,000. Right now, we're playing a little bit of a game, though, right? It just depends on how you pull this whole perspective in, because the way I see it right now with Bitcoin, we are already basically already reversed. We had a bullish breakout here. On a weekly perspective, it's still looking the same as we saw back in the September breakout. And in my own opinion, this can still be what's going to continue here, as we basically have the same scenarios with XRP, our first bottom, second bottom, and now a third bottom. And we can basically build another little scheme, I guess, where we go back up maybe to the 0.618 Fibonacci, come right back down towards this very important little support zone, and then start building up, potentially going towards the basically the all-time high, $69,000. And then you kind of see what ping pong I'm talking about, right? So basically going to conquer levels piece by piece by piece, as we've also done right here. Then again, if we actually follow this pattern that we saw in any of these two scenarios, we're going to see way more green weekly candles after one another, as it's literally done every single time it broke out of a similar pattern. And so potentially, we're just going to zoot past everything right now throughout this little journey and basically just skyrocket towards the $77,000 mark or so for Bitcoin before having our first little correction again. And that's actually what I think the most amount of people are saying for Bitcoin. And if that's the case for Bitcoin, then XRP is actually in the exact scenario as I described before, where we've already found ourselves our reversal back at about 77 freaking cents. That's the most important area I told everybody that's watching my channel to buy XRP at. I was so certain that was going to be one of the most crucial points, and we kept on just pushing. 77 cents, 77 cents, 77 cents. And right now, looking back, that was a juicy little buy. And that's also at the end of the day, guys, where we opened our long position at about 77 cents. We have shouted that out too many times, and right now, I really hope we're going to get back to that area to buy more, because that's just such a solid support, and it has been. Our latest buy, of course, on my own XRP trades was here at about 89 or 90 cents, as that was our little demand zone for XRP. And honestly, you might have actually bought yourself some throughout this little dip. I didn't, unfortunately, because as I said before, you should either get yourself some XRP somewhere in the middle or a little bit towards the upper side of a demand zone and place your stop loss below, or buy it a little bit above an important support level. And that could have been right here. We could have actually put that up potentially twice, made some small margins of profit. But right now, I did not do that because I was not aware of this little dip. And I didn't actually think about it too much. I was more so focusing on the 89 to 90 cent area here for XRP. So actually check this out. We got almost 400 viewers, almost 200 likes. Today is a really good day for the audience. I want to try and get a little challenge going again, guys. All right, I'm not going to mention it more than once now. If we can get this stream up to 500 likes, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, all right, guys? So once more, if you haven't pressed that button yet, you might want to do that. And this is the last time I'll talk about it. As you guys kept saying, please stop talking about those freaking likes being pressed. Stop begging for them. I understood what you guys were saying. The reason I kept doing that is because the streams perform a little bit better the more likes are being pressed. And I just know if I am watching a live stream or I am watching a video, if the person doesn't remind me, I don't even know that the like needs, I just completely forget about it. That's why I sometimes do that type of stuff. But I understand. All right. So actually about Sologenic, I saw a couple of you guys talk about that. Let's quickly see if the price has recovered or not. It's still showing 186 for me. Looking at the chart, it is at about 186. Okay, so it actually had an even bigger dip to about $1.50, $1.40. Right now, recouped to about $1.80 and has been stable for about a day or so. What is my own thought process? Well, I would say you can potentially try to buy the Sologenic dip as it can really go up still towards the next month, towards January 20th. However, as we get closer and closer to the January 20th date, the circulating supply, I'm not even sure exactly how they've made it up, but I think the circulating supply is just going to basically double. And so every Solo you have should become worth about half of what it is right now. And so from that perspective, Sologenic is something that I would highly recommend against buying for long term within this area. And I would more so say wait for January 20th when everybody's going to get their Sologenic that was snapshotted 2 days ago gets airdropped. And then see what the price does and then get more. Because right now the incentive for buying this coin is so low because it's going to be such a huge inflation pretty soon. I don't think it's really worth it. However, that is just my thoughts, not financial advice, and I might be wrong on that. But that's just what logic would say to me. That Sologenic is something you should really stay away from right now. And the only thing that some degens can do is like try to speculate right now that the price is going to rebound as we basically found a nice little dip. And since we've done so well over the last month that we're going to kind of bounce back. But I think the bigger incentive is gone, right? As the snapshot date is out of the way. So what do people have to be excited about right now in the short term? Chadwick's in the chat. Welcome back, my friend. Tristan is there. D. Pearson is there. Thank you guys all for always helping me out in the chat box. You guys are always amazing as well. You already know I love you guys. You already know I love you guys, right? Let's quickly see what we have here as well. Six Ink says, good morning, afternoon, and evening, world. Yeah. Where everybody watching from? Let's quickly see it again. We got Greece, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, UK, Australia, Antwerp, Florida, Netherlands, North Carolina. Okay. We got UK, Antwerp, Texas, Montreal, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, Canada, USA, Indiana, Sydney, Australia, 2 a.m. That is hefty. Board of XRP, I understand. Ruski. QC, Greece, Vegas, South Africa, down under. Okay. And San Diego, Texas. Brazil, Thailand, Greece, Ireland, Canada, Holland, Korea. Okay. Juicy. We got Madrid in there, Johannesburg. You see, isn't this always cool to see, guys, how you see people around the world from everywhere in the chat box all come together in the XRP, or really as a whole crypto community? It's always something exciting to me. Whenever I look at that, I'm excited. And also, by the way, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but our how do you call it? Record basically has been 500 likes at 27.5 minutes or 28.5 minutes, one of the two. That's the highest we've ever gone in 28 minutes. We have 10 more minutes to go. Just letting you guys know. All right, but as somebody else said there, from a technical perspective, everything looks as if we've bottomed out here. Short term made a nice little bottom, but from any perspective, we've bottomed out and we're going to start surging, right? We've basically completed every single thing we needed to. And for Bitcoin, it's all about now finding their traction and basically start, I guess, perhaps really moving. As the fundamentals are there, technicals are there, the whales are set in stone. And a couple of coins, by the way, that I really think everybody should really be watching right now, as I've said before, is first of all Bitcoin, purely because of a dominance perspective. It's coming down, right? It's now below 40 it was. Right now, it might have actually bounced back a little bit, but it was below 40 when I checked it out just now. Let's quickly check this. Right now, it is actually officially at 40.03, but it was below 40 when I last checked. Maybe it's on a couple of different places looking a little bit different. This is actually the first time in a really... Let's actually open up XRP here. Why do I have Cardano open. It's actually one of the first times that I am seeing that in a very long. Let's see for the last time when it was below 40. When was that? Here. Okay, we got the 9th of December that it was below 40. Before that, it's most likely a pretty long while ago here. Yeah, it's all the way since May of 2021 that we had that for the last time, I think. Point being, right now we're in a critical little area. We've been going down all the way since somewhere throughout October. We've been going down, 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 down. This could be a record low for the Bitcoin dominance, and that basically means that altcoins are picking up. And as I said before, Ethereum is picking up that pace quite severely too. They're coming up and up and up. And I even asked on Twitter earlier, what do you think the flippening is going to be, man? Because it's in a crazy little spot right now where we're coming closer and closer towards each other. It's getting kind of scary. And also sometimes to think back at just XRP's massive dominance throughout the years. Remember, guys, that XRP had a massive presence up until Ethereum started kicking in. And also, a couple of different times throughout this journey, XRP was again above Ethereum in the market cap for a couple of months throughout here, which is also something you guys should realize. Right now, it's just been going down and down and down. But generally speaking, because XRP didn't find the excitement that a lot of people in Ethereum did find. However, I do believe that once the lawsuit starts selling, and XRP is the first properly regulated crypto, that it can basically go on a little bit of a dominance hunting spree, because I think it's relatively going to do way better than the rest of the altcoin market cap at that specific point. And if the price will quintuple or go even times 7 or 12, the market cap could, again, just like tenfold in terms of percentage, all the way towards the Ethereum level, if not higher, as the rest of the market will do well, but not as well as XRP will do. So this one is going to be up by like 1,200%, I kind of think. And Ethereum might be up like 60, 40, something like that percent, starting a crazy run for the alts. But I'm not sure how crazy it's going to be, if you guys understand my drift. Then again, Bitcoin needs to just find a little basis here, man. Dominance is showing good. Let me quickly go on with what I just wanted to say. In terms of what we should be watching, I think there's a couple of altcoins that are really in an important spot right now. So Solana, from the perspective that's undervalued. If you're buying anywhere below $200, you're always in a good spot, if you ask me. ADA is always undervalued, but the problem is that there's... Well, let me actually take a sip of water, because I'm hearing the voice. Otherwise, you're going to have to listen to a little cracked voice. All right. So Cardano is definitely undervalued right now, but it's for a good cause, as... With Cardano, there's epochs, right? There's phases in which it gets really bullish and really bearish. Right now, we're in a little bit more of a bearish phase, where the excitement is not really around one of the new epochs coming up, and so people are generally speaking waiting for Charles Hoskins to announce one of the crazier things again. So we're like in a little bit of a waiting phase. BNB is in my little bag of exchange tokens, and some of them, this is actually a category for that, for exchange tokens. Let's check this out real quick. I'm not even sure if there is, but that could be easy. Maybe centralized exchange. Here we go. So this is my little list of exchange tokens, or the majority of them, that I always tell you guys about, that I think are worth a hodl. This is like a bag that I basically highly suggest, not financial advice, everybody to get and look into. Get yourself a little bag of some of these tokens, because as crypto gets more popular, these will generally speaking see the upward direction as well. It's not a one-to-one, but generally speaking, they will go up. And usually the returns on holding these coins are quite severe too. There's only two downsides. One is a lot of these coins are pretty centralized. And that actually kind of coincides with point number two, which is that if regulations ever come, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to view a lot of these cryptocurrencies, as the use is definitely solid, but since they're so centralized and so centered around the company that they're operating for, I sometimes wonder how the SEC or any entity like that is going to regulate or look at them, as I've described a couple of times before in the past as well. Then again, I do hold a lot of these, mostly on the upside, so BNB, Crow, FTT, OKB, a little bit, KCS, HT, and let's quickly see here, the BITRUE coin, this one I hold. That's what the majority of what I hold. The rest, I think I have almost all of them, like La Token, because there's like a couple of different things you can do with them. But some of them are also hard to buy, man. You cannot buy them on every exchange, so you sometimes have to kind of hop over left and right, so it sometimes gets a little bit annoying. Let's see this real quick. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. I should actually open this on the side here as well, so I can see what you guys are writing while not keeping this open. All right. Let's quickly see. So somebody in the chat box asked, what do you think about SOS? So there's actually a clear opinion I have about that one. And the SOS airdrop, which basically just happened for everybody who ever used OpenSea before, is not affiliated with OpenSea. So it's funny, right? It's nice, it's good, free money, but it's not really backed by anything in any way, shape, or form. It's just some free money you were given that I would say seize the opportunity, get the money out of there as soon as possible, and enjoy your gains. That's all I would say, because it's not affiliated with OpenSea, and they might never get there. So you can basically 50-50. You can be like, maybe they will soon come together, so that's something to be excited about, but maybe they won't. If they don't, then the coin will really become worthless piece by piece. If they will, it's going to be huge. So that's the wager you're basically making, and I don't want to take that bet. Then again, my second little sector of cryptos are Luna, Polygon, and if this thing can load, Algorand. There's also a couple other ones like HBAR, actually. I guess you can actually put let's actually put a little list together. So there's sector number 1, which is the little category we just showed, centralized exchange tokens. Sector number 2, DeFi beasts, or something along those lines. Luna, AVEX, Matic, all beasts. Chainlink is really solid, but it's not a crypto that I think is going to have the craziest of upside in terms of price. It's just a really good crypto to have some of because their project is amazing. So, my thoughts. Algorand is definitely solid in that regard as well. There is, in my own opinion, Cosmos for, I guess, being one of the most unique blockchains in that sense, or at least the way they've done things is so unique. And there's another one, HBAR. That's my little section. HBAR is definitely not a DeFi gem, actually, in that sense, though, right? It's like a builder gem. It should maybe be around gold, I guess. Okay, I should actually make a different sector for HBAR. I should put around gold in that little basket. I guess for my HBAR basket, I should bundle VeChain, HBAR, XRP together, as they're basically, and maybe even Chainlink should be in that bag too. Whereas like cryptocurrencies that are centered around real use with real companies that are basically almost certainly going to get massive adoption, but the price premium is a little bit more difficult to really pinpoint, as the token's utility versus the actual company's utility is a little bit more difficult to underestimate for some guys, maybe. All right, let's quickly see what you guys are saying. I'm a Gala boy. Yeah, Gala I think is having a massive marketing campaign right now. It's a pretty good crypto. I mean, there's a really simple to understand mission, simple to understand everything. The only question about Gala is how good can it really do because of all the hype? Like how solid is the fundamentals in comparison to the hype that it's witnessing? All right, by the way, guys, there's a link down below for KuCoin. Right now, there's like a little $5 bonus or so. Anybody who deposits like $10, I think with the link down below, you get $5 bonus. So I'm just quickly letting you guys know. There's also a link for Bybit down below. There's like $4,100 worth of bonuses. Over on, what's the other one called? Prime XBT, there's 25% discount that you can get. I'm just naming all these different exchanges that you guys might want to use. There's links down below for all of them. If I don't use them, it's not going to be there, but I'm pretty excited about all of them. So. Okay. Jack says, SEC corrupt. Yeah, it's difficult to talk about that part, guys. And by the way, did we ever find out why there's so many of these Bitcoin billion-dollar transactions going on every single moment of the day? Like every single couple of hours, we're seeing $1 billion worth of Bitcoin being transferred. And it's always roughly the same amount with a little bit of an increase. But I do wonder exactly why this movement between the same wallet is participate or happening, I guess, every single day. Do you guys know about that? I've tried to figure it out, but I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where to find out as well. Like for most of these things, I look towards Twitter, I look towards the interwebs, but in this case, I guess one thing we can do is just try to find this wallet on the interwebs to see if there's something to be said about it. Let me quickly try this. Let's see. No, I'm just seeing people ask questions about it. Let's see here. Okay. Plan B had something to say about it a little while ago. Oh, give me a second. Chain analysis insight. See that huge Bitcoin volume increase recently, red arrow, all caused by one address, this one. With 25,000 Bitcoin related to Ren BTC, second largest wrapped Bitcoin on ETH. Oh, okay. Addresses one private key. What happens to Ren BTC if owner takes the Bitcoin? Okay, it has to do with Rant BTC. So it has to do with Ethereum. That's why. Okay. But that is actually a huge increase for the Bitcoin volume, though, right? As they just keep moving money around like that. That is interesting. Not exactly sure why it moves in this exact fashion, but that might just be my lack of knowledge in that regard. As to why I don't know why it moves in this manner. I have to figure that out. I'll figure that out after the stream. I'm gonna look into it a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing Susie say again something. Let's pull it up here. Susie says this right here. Thoughts about using Nexo. Thank you for the $20, by the way. Thoughts about using Nexo. I took 30% of my XRP, took a loan, and bought more XRP. I don't want to sell any XRP till we get to that $20 area. I will always keep XRP for the next 10 years. So Susie, even though I definitely think that XRP will be amazing, I will highly recommend against doing something like this. What you're doing right now is extremely risky, and I would never want to risk my money in that sense. Let's see it like this, right? You can use a lot of different methods to make money, and there's a lot of things out there which are right, but there's a lot of things which are wrong. I will always go for the ones that are right over the ones that are wrong because I'm not that desperate for money anymore. In a certain sense that I will prioritize basically living good rather than basically getting money. I will also, after a little while I noticed, take a lot of risk because that's what you need to make it big. If you want to become a multi-billionaire, it's not as easy if you're going to play everything really safe. But I'll also take smart risks. So loaning out my XRP to buy more XRP is double betting on the same horse. And it's fine in a certain sense that you're going all in on one specific crypto. But then I'm also sometimes thinking, well, it's basically the same thing as saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to put a mortgage on my XRP, for my XRP. Ooh, okay, that's a risky thing. You can definitely make it big if it works. But the downside is just so severe that I never like that. That's the same thing for taking a loan on your holdings in this. I'm really against taking a loan where you can actually lose something rather than, and even though I guess sometimes in a mortgage sense, I'm thinking if you're going to buy a house with it, there's almost no chance that you're a little under, I'm not sure what it's called in English, onderpand in Dutch. Like if you're buying a house with it, there's almost no chance that what you're buying with that basically is going to become worthless. So you can always just sell the house again and get at least the majority of the money back. With XRP in this case, if you take a loan like that, yeah, you can lose everything. And I don't think that's worth the risk. But I do understand where some of you guys are coming from because it's risky to make it big. Yeah, I'm also at a loss for words a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a smart thing, but I guess if you told me you put a lot of your money into Nexo to take some what is it called? Like you make some money with that. Okay, Susie, I'm not sure if I want to show this what you're saying right now. I'm not sure if that's the smart thing to say. Let's see. So you said okay, so you just said in the case of a dip, I probably won't get liquidated because I did it in a smart manner. The first part of what you said, it's never smart to put on the interwebs, Susie, so please don't do that type of stuff. But then again, yeah, I'm just not sure that that's what I would ever go for, all right? It's not something I would ever go for. If that's your risk profile, that's fine. I think it's too risky. I would really like to say good on you. Take the risk, go for it, go crazy, go wild. But let's be honest here. At the end of the day, I sometimes think we should be satisfied with the smaller things in life. If it's like in comparison to what you're saying, let me say it differently. Had you said you are gonna basically go crazy and buy crypto like with all the money that you're making, okay, it's risky because maybe you don't have any money for anything else for the next couple of years, but risky, good. But the fact that you are, this is too risky for me, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not my style. I can't get over it. No, I'm trying to reason in any way, shape, or form how I can. But you're saying you won't get liquidated because you have a lot more XRP, basically. Okay, you know what? Good for you. I hope it works out. I hope you made the right decision. I hope you won't regret it. And let's see how this plays out over the next couple of months, right? I think you know what you're doing, otherwise you wouldn't have done it. So, most likely, she'll be fine. All right, let us see. Let us see. Oh, yeah, by the way, the whole Gala thing, as I said before, I honestly think it's a pretty good project. When you guys let me read into it, I did think it was rather, it's not definitely that special, but it's a good Metaverse project. I guess my next sector of cryptos that I always think are pretty amazing to get into, I guess, are just Metaverse. This is what everybody I think in the comment section is. Get yourself a bag of Metaverse crypto. Just buy, if you're asking me, right? Get some Mana, get some Sandbox, get some Theta, get some Engine, and just pick a couple other ones at the smaller level. Like buy some of this one, for example, maybe buy some of this one. Even if you don't know what they do, I'm being honest with you, there's a really good chance they work out. We bought Starlink together. Look at that. Do I know what Starlink does? A little bit. Do I really know the fundamentals of it? No, not at all. But that's because there's just a lot of projects out here where you don't necessarily know which one is going to pop off or do amazing. But I think a lot of them are like worth the speculating on. Not all of them, right? The lower you go, the riskier it's going to get, and I wouldn't say just go for all of them, but I would say pick a couple at the top, and very often it's very often it's a good decision, because it's just the next sector that's out there and up coming. What else can I tell you? Chat says, I'm waiting for a dip to buy these Metaverse and gaming tokens. I understand, very much so. I personally don't know. I mean, right now it's a pretty big dip, though, if you compare it. For Mana, we're pretty much down. For Sandbox, even, we're also quite low in comparison. Then again, like last week was a really good dip to buy the Sandbox. Even Mana here, it went down pretty severely. Not exactly sure what dip you're waiting for in that sense. You're waiting for a really low spot then, huh? Okay. XR Doge is up. I don't hold XR Doge. I don't think it's a good investment at all. I don't think it's a good crypto. I hope you guys make money with that, but I'll definitely not ever recommend a crypto like that at all. Can I talk about it? Potentially, but that's just for the entertainment value of it, not because it's a good investment. And again, you guys are really hating on my channel before for calling against XR Doge. And I tried a couple of times to talk in a fun manner about it, but I honestly think that is just pure garbage. And so I will definitely highly recommend against buying it. I do hope you guys make money with that stuff though. All right, but I will highly recommend against buying something like that. Highly recommend against it. Now financial advice, my own thoughts, but I would highly suggest not to, as a friend. All right, Richard says, Jesse, what are your thoughts on ADA and Matic? Well, as I said earlier, Matic is in my bag of like top DeFi gems / Polygon, just beautiful good. And ADA, like the last guy says, ADA is in a spot right now where there's not really that critical of an epoch coming up, so not really any major event. They're talking about the DEX, they're talking about some ADA DeFi, and I saw Charles Hoskinson talk about a stable coin on ADA just now. I think 2 days ago he talked about that. However, that's starts of the start. Like with the most stuff, the DEX, for example, got like a 15% pump at the ADA price, and maybe the stablecoin can actually incite another 10% pump. It's like, what's the major next thing? What's the major next phase? And as long as they don't announce anything too critical, I'm not sure exactly where ADA is about to head. So if you're asking reversal for XRP, what are we talking about? We talked about it at the start of it all, in the sense that right now what we expect is that Bitcoin found its bottom, and we're basically going to go up from here. The reversal has quote-unquote started. The more you zoom out, the more you'll start to notice that. So for XRP, basically, as we called out, 77 cents has been our major area. And we're right now going to start building and following this basically dynamic support here, the little blue line here, the trend line. Going to follow that. For Bitcoin, in a certain way, the same applies, where we basically broke out right now. And I do believe we're also going to start building from the 0.236 Fibonacci level, as we also called out before it happened, by the way. This is not new. We did expect this to happen in a certain sense. Because of the way that the candle has built itself, I do think since we are right now facing some struggle at the 0.382, we're going to basically find some resistance there, kind of bounce back, but then potentially break through and continue on the bullish momentum because we're finding the similar pattern as we saw a couple of weeks ago. So as it currently stands, the majority of people I talk to as well agree with me that we have found a good bottom for Bitcoin for right now, and we're going to continue on towards the upside, depending a little bit on how the year is going to end. But the way that it's looking is going to end above $50,000, hopefully above 53, but more importantly, just close positively. And that we will, I think, that we will. And with positively on a monthly perspective, that is, again, hopefully above a couple of key factors. Not sure about that. But as long as you stay above the 0.236, which again is at about 46.5 thousand or so, I think we're all good. And positively in this sense means building a higher low. So in this case being, let's say low number 1, let's say low number 2, just for the sake of, and low number 3. But you can also see it as low number 1 and low number 2. As long as we continue on with this pattern, as long as we basically don't break these levels, we're all good to go. So it doesn't really matter too much. We had a big retest, yes. We didn't build the candle there. So we're still on a good path, and I don't think that can really break. I think we're still really, really in good position. And with XRP, as we called out earlier, to a certain degree, it just looks as if we're going to continue on towards the really high upside when we get the lawsuit fixed, and that's the major part for XRP price. Right now, we're facing some resistance at the 0.382 and this resistance level. Coming right back down, playing some ping pong here, most likely at about 49.3 thousand. Coming back up. It's not going to be too hard for Bitcoin here to break through, I don't think. Bear market next year? At the, well, I actually find that a really difficult question because there's so many different analyses about that. I do think we'll build another new all-time high for Bitcoin next year. However, I'm not sure if we're going to hit $100,000 per Bitcoin this cycle. I'm not even sure if it's going to go like above like $75,000, $74,000 or so. You know, we're talking about like 77, like this area, for example, for Bitcoin, and just bounce back. Because from a certain perspective, the Bitcoin price is in such a unison with the regulations that might be coming and the inflation numbers and so, that it might just get to that area, get some massive FUD, and then come right crumbling back down. Not crumbling down towards the $30,000 mark anymore. I think we're going to basically close above that next time around. Like right now, our biggest dip was 42,000. I think the next cycle, maybe our lowest point is going to be 50,000. And so basically on forward. Is that we're, I don't know how people can be bearish on Bitcoin really, but the bear market, I can understand that people are asking those questions about it. You cannot really predict a bear market before. Right? I can tell you all I want, but we're not going to know if the bear market is going to ensue and come. All we can know is about these smaller moves where we can make money with, but when the regulations come in, right, it can be really bullish, can be really bearish. We don't really know about that. We don't know how the regulation is going to look like. And when XRP, for example, wins this lawsuit, which I expect, we don't know how Bitcoin is going to react to that because we know XRP is going to be in a really positive position. But where will Bitcoin be? Right? Where will Bitcoin be? How will Bitcoin go? By the way, guys, if you're not subscribed just quite yet, make sure you press that button. Our goal is to end the year at 140,000 subscribers, and we need about 1,400 or 1,300 to go. So I guess we need to get like 300 subscribers a day, which I think is almost impossible, but with a little bit of help, guys, is definitely going to work. So make sure you press that little subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. All right. Let's see. Felix says, I love how people are so bearish on Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be bigger than gold market cap, silly. You guys kill me. I think so too. Honestly, I think so. Ethereum, by the way, has also found a good little bottom. As we also said before, this is drawn in before. This is the pattern that it's looking like right now, but it's going to depend because I guess if we want to perfectly follow along, we should not have this little second little wick or some whatever you want to call this. I think that often this is like a Wyckoff thing, right? But I digress. What we basically want to see for Ethereum is either finding its bottom here at about 40.2 or 40 point. I'm gonna say 40.4020. As that's the Fibonacci level, or potentially even at about $3,900 or so, and then come right back up, as then we're basically also building higher lows and higher highs, as right now we got ourselves our first bottom in, our first top, potentially is just a bottom like around that level, but hopefully a bottom a little bit lower to basically retest properly before continuing higher. And I don't think it's going to be too crazy to end the Ethereum year here at about $4,400 or so, as that is a major level we need to retest for Ethereum, and it's really around the corner anyway. But one of the most important levels, and this is a critical one, is $4,000 for ETH. Everything coincides with that number for Ethereum. But generally speaking, let's actually conclude some here. We have our long positions open right now. We have our long positions open on XRP. We're not closing them anytime soon. And let's hope and let's see this $2,000 turn into $10,000 over the next couple of weeks. What do you guys think? Think it's going to be possible? Think it's going to be crazy? Won't happen. Not sure what that is talking about. Does Web3 only for marketing purposes, like Elon Musk said? I don't know. The question about Web3 is just what exactly is Web3? Some people call it like the payment gateway. Like some of the negative sides about Web3, for example, and something I can definitely abide by, is if you're talking about a thing like Google, right? In a Web3 type of world, every little Google search that you'd want to do costs money. So you have to pay gas for that, so to speak. And so you might call out and say, oh yeah, but they're not selling your information or this, that, this, that. Yeah, but the fact that we're going into like a payment-based new world where everybody gets paid for their literal efforts in a certain degree, you can definitely call it a nice thing, but also a really consumer-unfriendly thing. As, once more, for the centrality perspective, oh, really, really good. From a user perspective, as for example, think about your little grandma or something like that. You know, think about somebody. Having to adapt that technology all the way through, getting used to it nowadays, and having to pay for every single thing you want to do on the internet, having to press a couple of buttons and pay for that. I guess within a short while here, those payments are not going to be the confirmation that we have in MetaMask right now, but going to be a lot easier and more normal. Or we have like a contract where we basically are allowing the... We're having a contract where we basically allow every single search to basically just spend it instantly, and the cost might be so low that it's almost going to be almost free. Like for example, right now with BNB, it still costs like a couple of cents. With Ethereum, it costs like tens of dollars, but with a couple of other blockchains, it's completely free. Basically, it costs like 0.001. And I guess that might be some standard that we have to go into. But you know, I guess a complete ecosystem like that built on Ethereum is just going to be literally impossible then, because it's just too expensive. Unless Ethereum 2.0 comes up and we actually increase that much in terms of cost, but I don't, or decrease, I should say. But I don't see that happening too much. And then we're talking about a layer 2. Yeah, but then you're talking about the layer 2 being better. You know, not Ethereum themselves. It's just like the Ethereum layer 2, the solution built on top. But then there's always the on and off ramp cost, which still could be very high. And it could also be another process for getting your money on the other chain. So, yeah. When Moon, I guess within a couple of months, right? It's starting to get to countdown time as we get closer and closer to the end date for this expert discovery phase in the lawsuit as well. Yeah, I guess within 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks or so, we're going to have a little update on all of that as well, as we're going to end the expert discovery. We're going to go into the next phase here, where the lawsuit, the juicy stuff, I guess, is going to really start to begin. Yeah, that could also be an exciting time. Huh. That could be an exciting time. All right. But guys, I talked about everything I wanted to talk about here during this little live stream. You guys were really amazing, really good energy, really fun stuff. I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff today, though, so I'm going to kind of cut it short here. It's been 50 minutes of just fun stuff. I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. I definitely did. I have a couple of videos coming out later today, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel for all of that stuff. And as I said before, guys, we're going to be doing daily live streams. So all you just got to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you'll get a notification every single time I upload another gem video. And a little bit later today, guys, I also will create a video talking about my next best altcoins for right now. Because honestly, people who are not holding some of the altcoins that I'm holding, I think are in a really big disadvantage. But then again, that's just a theory, a crypto theory. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi. You guys are all amazing. I appreciate all you so much for stopping by. You don't even know how much it lightens up my day. And I'll see you guys again, in a couple of hours from now when I record another video. So just stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed. And adios, amigos. You guys are amazing. Yeah.